Yeah, hey everybody. Dan here with one of my favorite drummers, one of my favorite people, and the best looking guy who's ever been in the band Iron Maiden. Probably the best looking metal drummer ever, Nicko McBrain. Welcome. Welcome back.
Oh, Dan, I love your intro. That was just fantastic. I'll give you that $20 when I see you, mate.
All good. I like the gold seal trains, the one with the... How have you been?
Thank you so much. It was a lovely, and of course, all true, of course. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, because
no exaggeration with us too, right? You know,
right. How have you been? Like, how's retirement? Well, before you answer, I got to tell everyone a quick story. So, almost exactly a year ago, we're like 3 weeks from it. I remembered. I said, "Oh yeah, Nico's retiring. I want to get him on the show to talk about it." So I texted you, and I just wasn't thinking, and I didn't realize that while I was texting you, you were getting ready to go on for your very last show, December 7th in Brazil. And you were real polite about it. You were saying like, "Well, Dan, it's a little noisy around me right now. I can't really talk." I'm like, "No worries. Let's catch up in the next week or whatever." And then I happened to notice later that that was your last show and you were there. And I just thought that was silly.
But you know, being drummers, man, you know that it's all down to timing, and sometimes we get that wrong. But
that's right. At least I wasn't late.
That's right. Yeah. Well, yeah, that was. It was obviously that day where it was very emotional for me. Excuse me. Oh, just had a nice cup of tea, and it's getting its own back for some reason.
What flavor?
Just English breakfast, black tea, Tetley's tea bags. I get them from England, and in fact, you can get them in Publix, English breakfast tea, and they're very nice. They're as good as the regular tea. I mean, tea around the world is pretty much tea, black tea, jasmine tea, Darjeeling, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Assam tea, I do like that too.
Great.
Yeah, it was a very mixed emotion show. Obviously, I had like 50,000 kids chanting my name and gave me a fantastic emotional welcome. And then also when I got up the front of the stage at the end of the night, when I've always gone and been the last guy to come off stage.
Yeah.
To be able to say good night and thank you to all the fans and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And this night was unbelievably special. I remember I thought to myself, I'm going to burst out in tears here in a minute. If I felt that emotional, and I thought God's saying to me, look, it's okay, Nick, if you want to cry, that's why we gave you tears, and emotion.
Right.
Anyway, so I thought, no, maybe stay strong, do your weeping off stage, And I remember I said goodnight and threw all my bits out, before the band left, and I got down at one stage towards the time I was actually on the stage, and I got down and I kind of I felt these tears coming on. I thought no, and I went down my legs and I kind of grabbed my back at the top of my ankles.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God. Oh God! I stood up and okay, bye. And I scarpered and I got off stage pretty quick. And oh my gosh, that was incredible. But the most important moment that I felt from the whole thing was not only the love of the fans and the adoration that they showed me, and the love was when I went to go on the stage, all the back line, except for Pooch, who was out of the front house, and Ken Van Druten, the wonderful fella. I don't know if have I frozen on yours?
No, you're good on our side. Yeah.
It's just my computer doesn't like me talking too much on it, so
we'll ignore that.
As you can see, everything's good.
Yeah.
And they gave me like a salute and a farewell. That's their last time they would actually be with me on an Iron Maiden show.
Right.
With me performing, so that was a terrific emotion, and there was some tears, I got to admit, you know, some of my dearly, truly dear friends on the tour for many years had a tear in their eye. And,
Yeah. Well,
so
you
did
know,
I.
Nicko, there is a pre-Nicko McBrain Iron Maiden legacy with Paul Di'Anno, with Doug Sampson, with Clive Burr. But when you joined the band, and I saw those lineups, and then I saw the first tour you were on, and something changed. You know, you and Bruce changed the band, or
Yeah.
change isn't the word. You helped it blossom into what we've
Yeah.
all it become over all these years,
Yes.
and
I
are
agree
like
with that.
really a huge personality of the personality of Iron Maiden.
That's right. I mean, that there's huge personalities in the band. There always
Yeah,
have been. You know, even in the the early '80s when Adrian was with the band,
yeah,
Davey was. I always had my analogy of Davey. He's like the cat sitting on the top of the fence, and he's
yeah.
always he's got the pose, and he's always got the big smile on his face, and you know what you get with Dave. When Dave speaks. And he chimes in with ideas, and if you're in a discussion about something, he's always got this most incredible, wonderful passion about him.
Oh wow.
And you know, he's I mean, when Bruce left the band halfway through the Fear of the Dark tour, we started rehearsals for the second half of that tour, and Bruce didn't come to rehearsal, and we all sat down, and we all a little bit in there, and we were rehearsing in Faro in Portugal, and we were in this like little club, and it had its own little bar, and we stopped after about 3 songs, and at a point, we were pulling beers and managed to get the pump, turn the air compressor on to bring the beer up and all this malarkey. And we were sitting, and we were going over about what we're going to do when Bruce leaves. And finally, we were going backwards and forwards. More beer was going down. We buggered the rehearsal. We didn't even bother with that. And Dave just turned around, I remember, and he said, just because he doesn't want to be in Iron Maiden anymore doesn't mean to say that we just need to hang it up.
Right.
And it's the way he said it and the timing that he said it with, that he was this amazing. And we all looked at him and went, you're bloody well right. Let's have another beer then. And then we got on with it,
That's great. The voice of reason, right?
Yeah. But, even in the early days, Adrian had his personality in the band. He did get, he didn't like the direction it was taking when, we started work on No Prayer, and he decided to knock it on the head. He was actually asked to leave the band, but it was a decision that he was quite comfortable with, because he was going to make a decision for us anyway to leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
And now when everybody got, of course, Yannick took his place, and Yannick he took over my rig, my job as the comedian in the band.
That's hilarious.
He's got a lovely sense of humor, super clever guy. And this is the thing about the family of Iron Maiden. It's not just that we have the passion to make great records and play great shows, because we are a live band. We do, although we love going in the studio, there's a lot of pressure to write, and it's like, well, let's try and make these songs as live as what they would sound like when we play live, or when we would play the songs live. Yeah. So, but the overall passion of the band is playing on a stage in front of, could be 550 kids or 50,000. It doesn't matter the amount. Yeah. You still get what you're going to get from Iron Maiden. And then along with those personalities, I kind of molded my playing around my essence of being a bit crazy and being, all drummers are okay. We beat things up for a living,
Yeah,
gotta be crazy, isn't it? So, and then you've got Bruce as the front guy, and he's a super clever guy, always thinking up new ideas of what he what he wants to do on the next show, and wonderful character. And Steve, to be very honest with you, he's the one guy out the band that's very shy.
Is Steve?
He's the shyest guy out the lot of us. I mean, he doesn't like going and doing the meet and greets and with a record company in the early days, and he said, "Oh, Nick, can you come with me, Nick?" He said, I'll prefer it if I have you with me, because
wow, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah. And it's lovely. It really is, Dan. So, thank you for. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and folks, if you want to ask Nicko a question, follow the breadcrumbs. The notes are in the post. Join us because at about 10 minutes, we're going to cut the stream on Facebook and YouTube. And you could join us even right now in the virtual amphitheater where you can come backstage here, get in line. I'll put you on the screen with Nicko to ask a question. Nicko, what kind of like personal adjustment has there been, or were you already mentally in the space where you
Yes.
are now to make it
Yeah.
easy, you know?
I certainly was in the mental space. You know, be honest with you, when we made Senjutsu, I was thinking, all right, after this Senjutsu tour, I'll hang it up. I had made it my mind up because I was feeling, my body was feeling like, you know, I was 70 years old or 69, 70. You know, as we know, but you know, the pandemic hit. Well, we know that what everybody experienced it. We all lived through it. And God bless those that did, you know, and unfortunately there were a lot of folks that didn't make it.
Right.
But anyway, you know, that kind of put us back by a year or 2 years because, you know, that we couldn't release that album. You know, once we'd got it finished, and then you have to have your album out for a little while and then you plan a tour around it. So we did the Legacy of the Beast tour. And that Legacy of the Beast tour was in like 4 parts over 2 years.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay. Well, I think I'm going to hang it up after this.
It's a lot of physical
my
work.
mindset was always, you know, to think about, you know, it's time to me to step down and give it to a younger fella.
So, someone like 58.
Yeah. You know, but, you know, I of course, you know, the one great thing I take away from Simon being in the band, I am still the best looking bloke in the band, no doubt about it.
Even though you're not in the band.
I'm not in the band. So yeah, I had my mindset on you know, even back then, thinking about I'll make this the last tour, but then it went into Future Past tour, and there was another. So I was blessed to come out the end of what I went through before on that on the second half of the Legacy. It was between the first and second part, I think, of the tour, the Legacy of the Beast tour, where we did the Senjutsu realm at the beginning, and we opened with the title track of the record.
Right.
And I had that stroke in January of 23. So I was very blessed that the band would stick behind me and take that journey that I took in my recovery, and the fact that I have a handicap because I can't play 16th note rolls like 140 or 120, even going from an 8 to 16. I can't do it. This hand doesn't. The fingers, they're not working. Yeah. So I had to compromise with drum fills.
Yeah.
And the band stood by me for those almost 2 years. You know, it was a year and a half of touring. You know, we did the end of the Legacy tour and then Future Past, and you know, going into the 50th anniversary, which is obviously a massive tour for the band to celebrate just being survived for 50 years.
Yeah.
But I knew I couldn't have opened with Murders. I mean, that drum fill at the beginning was just, you know, I could have scratched through and done something else, you know, and changed the intro. But why? You know, this is a celebration of those records, the first 9 albums.
Yeah.
You know, so that then on the back end of you know, having that decision in the back of my mind, you know, a couple of 3 years ago, it made it easier. And I sat with Steve in LA, and we talked and discussed that very thing, and that you know, the things that I couldn't play against the things I could, and we were outweighing my health issue, and they were all very worried about me. You know, they didn't want to see me, and I didn't want to see myself drop dead on stage. You know,
right.
But mind you know, having said that, you know, if the good Lord calls me up, I would prefer to do it on a gig. But then, of course, it's like, well, wait a minute.
And not in the deli section of the grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
Picking up pastrami
it's
or
not
whatever.
The deli section. It would be the confectionery, you know, the biscuits and cookies. I do
So,
have the worst sweet tooth ever, mate.
so
Yeah,
from that
that went in hand. But yes, to
yeah,
answer your question, and you see, that's a long-winded answer.
and that's okay. It seems like from that discussion in LA with Steve that night, that sort of primed the process and probably made it less of a shock when you did present to them. And
Yeah.
how did you present to them that, hey, this is it for me? Like, I guess it was less of a shock than just out of the blue, out of nowhere. Like,
No, not well, yes. Well, obviously, I was talking with Rod and Andy Taylor, our managers, and Dave Shackleton, who's our base. He's been part of the Maiden family for many years now, and he's like Rod's left-hand guy or right-hand guy. He's kind of taking over the everyday running of things with Maiden, and we talked about it, and the guys, when I was with Steve, we were talking about Simon doing a rehearsal with the band in Portland. We had a couple of days off there. Well, here's the thing: a travel day and a day off after that. That's really nice. I said to Steve, we talked about that, and he said, "You're okay with it?" I said, "Of course I am." I said, "If God forbid anything happening to me in the next, say, 2 weeks, or the next week, or the next gig, Simon will be able to cover for me, and you don't lose the rest of the tour." I mean, it would be how we would deal with that if any one of us, fell ill. I mean, there have been the times when we've lost shows because Bruce can't. He's got laryngitis or something.
Yeah.
If you get the flu, you go on stage. You just have to muscle through it.
right.
As a pro musician, as they say, the show must go on.
Yeah.
But when you're a singer and you got laryngitis, I can't sing anymore.
Right. What are you gonna? It's a little bit different. Yeah.
So I understood that, and I gave that my blessing. And Simon went in, and then after that, we all had a meeting. The band. No, Simon wasn't there. It was me, Rod, myself, Rod, and the band. Excuse me. And we all talked about me retiring after the tour. So the band were aware of it prior to Simon going in to do the rehearsal. So it was all done. There was no skullduggery involved. It was all talked about prior to the announcement. I personally asked the management and the band to leave the announcement till after the gig, to the year, to like January this year.
Right.
And I wanted to spend Christmas without having everybody, on their mum sending me texts and my phone ringing off the hook, what's this? You left the band. What's going on?
Or me texting you during your last gig.
Yeah, but my best Andy Taylor turned around to me. I remember the conversation like it was yesterday. He said, "Nick," this is again, we were in LA, and he said, "Nick," he said, by the way, he said, "What's this about you not wanting to make an announcement on your last show? You need to go out in a blaze of glory. Don't want to go out on a wimpish whim." And I went, "You know what? You're right. I'm being selfish here. I didn't want it because I didn't want all my mates and family phoning me up or whatever."
Yeah.
So we talked about that there and then, and he convinced me that it was the right thing to do, because I was really kind of on the notion I had was, let's tell everybody in the new year. Let's get Christmas and New Year out of the way, But I'm glad that.
But then it's so eventless,
Well, it was, and it was a lovely way to announce it. The only thing I got a little upset about was I did ask them not to announce Simon until the Monday, because on the Sunday I was traveling home from Sao Paulo to Florida, and excuse me again. They were going to make the announcement almost immediately, and I said, "Give it a day or two." Well, they gave me 24 hours. Not even that. They announced it the next morning. That Simon was going to go and be my replacement, which really doesn't matter when they did. But I did ask them to, you know, leave it an extra day and
Like, let it breathe for a moment.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's
And
a big
I've got a
announcement.
little bit. I must admit, I was a bit miffed off about that, and I thought, oh, they could have left it another 24 hours.
Right. Like, and then in hindsight, right? Like, what's another 24 hours? 3, 6
Yeah,
4 months
yeah.
later, like, yeah.
But you know, that was an amazing show. We played really well. I played really well that night. I mean, the emotion on stage, it was very similar to that backstage before we went on stage. We did some pictures, all did these pictures together and hugging and lots of yeah, you're going to be all right, Nick. You know,
Well, the big question for your last gig with Iron Maiden, the biggest question I can think of to ask is this: was there cake?
No.
No.
I don't
All
think
those
so,
decades
no.
with the
If
band
there
and
was,
no
I don't
cake.
remember it. I don't remember it.
You got to ring Steve. Where's my cake?
Oh, well, hey, listen, I didn't even get a gold watch when I was in the band for 25 freaking years. Hey, what's all that about? You know.
That's funny. Thanks for sharing that. So, folks, what we're going to do, let's look at the time. Yeah, we're going to go exclusively into the membership site. Folks, you can join us. Follow the link in the post. You can see the information on the ticker right down there as well. Visit us in the virtual environment. There's a sign there with simple instructions. So easy. A drummer can do it. Well, at least a bass player and a lawyer. And press the button.
You missed that, hey Dan. You missed the golden opportunity. It's so easy, even a bass player can do it. Come on.
And it'll put you backstage here, and I'll be able to see you queue up. You get on the screen with Nicko. I'll disappear. You ask a question. Take your time. As you can see, he's very generous with his time and loves to talk about his amazing career, drumming. Maybe we'll talk about the restaurant, whatever you want to ask him. Just remember, it is a family show. So, folks, we're going to do that. So thanks for everybody watching on YouTube. Join us in the membership site. There goes